Hey guys, what's going on? I'm so excited for today's video. Today I'm going to be doing a video on mission trip advice, which I think I'll probably have in the title, so you probably already know that. Anyway, welcome to the video. I'm Grace. I hope that you're having a fantastic weekend or weekday, whatever day that you watch this. So I'm super excited. I went on a mission trip last year that was out of the country. It was to Belize, and it was a ton of fun. And I've been on several mission trips before, mostly in the States, but there's nothing like going on a short-term mission trip. Sorry about my dogs, they're in the background making some noise, but hopefully they don't bark too much. So anyway, let's just kind of jump right on into it. I wish that I would have had some just practical advice, because I remember searching last year, what do I do when I'm going out of the country? How do I prepare for a mission trip? How do I just get ready and prepared? Because I like I like having like a list of things that I can kind of go through and be like, okay, have I done this? Have I thought about this? Have I don't know, just kind of considered this. So anyway, let's jump right in. I can't talk today. Let's jump right on into it. Oh, Lucy's coming to say hi. She says hello. This is my dog, Lucy. And okay, let's jump right into it. So first of all, you're going to want to be prayed up. And by prayed up, I mean you're just going to be wanting to pray. Once you know that you're going on the trip, you're just going to be just praying about the people, the community there, the team that you'll be going with, the people that you interact with along the way. You're going to want to be praying for the Lord to just be guiding you, and to keep for safety, and for just opportunities to share the gospel, and to just be able to witness to people, and just be able to share life and do life with people, and just make sure that you go into it. I think a lot of times people have a lot of expectations. One of my friends was actually saying this today, and she was just saying a lot of people go into it with a lot of expectations. And I think when you go into mission trips without expectations, or at least without, being like, it's going to be exactly like this and it has to be like this, then you leave kind of disappointed if you have expectations. But if you just simply start praying, hey Lord, however you want to use me, however it's going to be, just help me to have a good attitude about it, and to just glorify you in how I act, and how I think, and how I speak. So just kind of praying through that. That's super helpful. I have my trusty notebook here, and I just kind of wrote down a few things. So the next thing I think would be just make sure that you're in the Word, that you're in the Bible a lot, and that you're studying the Word every day, leading up to it. I love being in the Word. There's so many options now for reading the Bible. It's crazy. Even if it's just a few minutes a day, just make sure that you're getting in the Word, and because it does, it really refreshes us. And once you become a believer, the Holy Spirit reveals things to you, and He just refreshes you, and it's just super cool to just have that time with the Lord in the morning, and it's so good, and it's so filling, and we just need that because we are just dependent on Him. Another thing is just, I think this kind of goes, sorry, my dogs are loud, this kind of goes without saying, but of course you're going to want to make sure that, oops, sorry, my dogs are fighting in the floor. No, oh no, okay, lay down, okay. Anyway, this goes without saying, just make sure that you are a believer, and I want to encourage you in that, and just make sure that you know how to tell your testimony. And the thing with testimonies, we need to do a separate video on this sometimes, but just make sure you know how to tell your testimony, and you know that you have been saved, and you know that you are a believer, because that is really super crucial. But I feel like that kind of goes without saying. Just make sure that you know the Lord, and that's one of the things. And also just I I think also a few things. I know I keep kind of jumping around. Be teachable. I think a lot of times teams will go places and just they'll want to do it their own way, and the locals may even be teaching them how to do things, and then the team may come in and just do it their own way and just not want to be taught how to do anything and do it, I guess, the American way, and just kind of run over the progress, and then the village ends up having to fix it again. So guys, just make sure that you're being teachable and you're being respectful, and just respectful of their culture too, in the way that you dress, in the way that you eat, and in the way that you just that you also just make sure that you speak to. So sometimes cultures, Belize didn't have a lot of different stuff, but their dress code there was different. Yeah, just make sure that you research their culture and their just things like that. That way you avoid any kind of hassle about that. Here's another thing, guys. Okay, don't complain, please. Please, please, please. Okay, you can make a statement, like let's say that the weather is just really not pleasant, and it's just not good, and it's really hot outside. Sometimes it's fine to just be like, whew, it's getting kind of hot out here. But guys, please don't complain. It's so refreshing when you don't complain, and it's so refreshing when you have a good attitude and you're there, and you're ready to listen to however the Lord wants to use you, and you're just like, okay, Lord, here I am. I'm ready to do any job. I'll scrub toilets, I'll build houses, I'll paint, I'll go play with kids, I'll sit with this person if I need to, I'll do whatever I need to. So just come with the attitude of, I'll do whatever you need me to do. I'll sleep on the floor, I'll go on the early train. Like, let's say your transportation, even being flexible, just be super flexible, guys. Because with mission trips, you gotta be flexible, and you gotta, everything that you do, it affects, like, I don't know how to phrase this. It affects your team, and like how kind of like your team's mood. So just make sure that you have a good attitude, and you're like, okay, we need to take this train, that's fine. Or, okay, our stuff got delayed, that's okay. Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna get it worked out, no worries. I know it can be frustrating, but when you give that to the Lord, you pray about it. It can be frustrating at times, but you just take a breather if you need to, and just pray about it and be like, okay, Lord, give me patience in this. This is not a life or death situation. It's okay. Everything's going to work out. So just be very flexible. Also, the mission trip, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Here's a little secret, okay? So the mission trip, this actual mission trip that you're going on, it starts from the second that your team gets together to go on it. So when y'all get there early, or whatever time it is, to leave for your trip, to get in a van, to drive to the airport, from the airport to wherever you have to stay, and then to whatever country or whatever place or whatever part of the world that you're going to, make sure that you are serving your team well. Because if you don't serve your team well, and you aren't encouraging your team, and you aren't serving your team, and you aren't praying for your team, then it just ends up so much better. And if you have a Christ-like attitude in that, and then you have a Christ-like attitude and the community that you're going to serve, and you're going to just tell the gospel to, they see that in the way that you love your team, and they go, wow, that looks different from how we treat people, or that looks different from the norm. So yeah, I just want to encourage you, and the way that you treat your team is really important. So make sure that you're praying for them, that you, it's even fun to do, like, okay, so our team did like this thing called refreshers, and one of my friends came up with this too last year, and she would ask for a refresher, and we would take one of our verses for that week and just kind of read back over it. And that was just really neat to have that time. Have fun. Be flexible, have fun. It's going to be awesome. You're going to love it. Just be open to whatever the Lord is going to teach you. Just don't have those, like, I guess it's like a preconceptions, I don't know. I'll have to look it up. Just have in your mind that you're just going to serve the Lord joyfully, and try to take that back with you too. Try to take what you learned on your mission trip back with you and apply it to everyday life, because it really does help when you go on a mission trip, but make sure that you apply it when you come back, because if you're not applying it when you come back, then just think about your community. Think about how much each person needs Jesus, and they need to know about Jesus, and they need to know what sacrifice that God gave us when he sent his one and only Son to die for us on the cross, resurrect 3 days later. Guys, the Bible is one big love story. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. And guys, man, make sure that you know how to share the gospel too, because that is crucial. The gospel is the best news ever, and God is indescribable. He's just so faithful and good, and God is love, and he gave his love story by giving us his word and showing us how he has just been faithful and good and merciful over and over and over again. And guys, just make sure you know how to share the gospel too. That's crucial. For where you are now, you are on mission wherever you go. As soon as you become a believer, you are on mission to tell other people of the good news of what Jesus has done in your life. So make sure that you know how to tell your testimony and how to share the gospel, okay, guys? That's super important. Just serving each other in love. Just make sure that you are just kind of think about your motives in serving, but also just make sure that you serve your team really well, that you serve the community really well. If you're picking up trash, just go the extra mile, pick up double the trash. I don't know, just wash dishes for people. Just the little things. Make sure that you're being faithful in the little things. Yeah, I think... Oh, and if you have a Bible story to share, and like you read up on a Bible story and you kind of learn how to teach it, and you kind of have like an activity to do with it, especially if you're working with kids, that's super awesome too, to just be able to have a Bible story to share. It's really cool. So that's most of my advice. Make sure you pack light. And I am a very heavy packer, so make sure that you pack light. You don't need all that stuff. Maybe we'll do a packing video. I think I'll do a packing video in the summer. That would be awesome. I love packing videos. They're so cool. Sometimes I just get on YouTube and start scrolling through the packing stuff. I don't know. I've gotten better at packing, but just make sure that you pack light. Have a great time on your mission trip. Whenever you go, guys, it's so fun. You're gonna love it. Cherish every single moment. It's gonna go by so fast. It's gonna be awesome. I hope you have a great time. Wow, that's exciting. Okay, I love y'all so much. I hope that you have a great week. The Lord loves you so much. You're so loved. Bye. Love y'all. Don't let your heart grow dim, for God restores and brings